All right, so welcome to Intuition to Income 2026. My name is Abby Gooch, and I'm here with my dear friend Sean, who we met like I think probably 2 or 3 months ago. But the reason I asked him on the show is his kindness. He sent me this beautiful email. It was like less than 30 seconds, but it was like, "May your day be blessed. May it be full of love and peace." And I'm like, we need more of that in the world. So as we tune into our frequency of intuition together, we're just going to emit that beautiful energy just everywhere and into our businesses, and even if you don't have a business now, it can be into your career, into your relationship, into your health, wherever you need to send this pure positive energy of your soul, which is your intuition guiding you. So I want to just welcome you to the show. Welcome you to the show, Sean. And
Thank you.
yeah, let's get
All
started.
right. Thrilled.
Sweet. So, how do you feel connected to your own intuition?
Interestingly, for me, the whole thing with intuition is pretty new.
Yeah.
So it's more like something that I've learned in the last 5 years and
Okay.
last
Okay.
2 years.
Okay.
I've just always been in tune with just wanting to help people. I guess it's my nature,
Yeah.
and it's what I grew up around. My parents are still really nice people,
Yeah.
kind people. I'm almost like a sucker for helping people. But I think the place where intuition really has been a big shift for me has been in learning what to say no to.
Yeah.
And that's something that was really a missing piece for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for some people, that's not really an issue. For
Right.
me, once I broke through that, it just revolutionized my life, revolutionized my business, it revolutionized my bandwidth and my ability to truly help those who are mine to help.
Yeah.
So it just really, it's almost like a framework in my mind, you know, is this person mine to help? And if they're not mine to help, I've learned to not be in grief and in shame about saying no to certain situations.
Yeah, so I just want to highlight something you said about, I think you said this word, unconditional love. So, like your parents, were like that. You just really grew up in that energy. So, the basis of intuition is unconditional love and non-judgment. So, when you're in that place of just observing and bringing that kindness and that love in, you can actually discern, right? So, have you ever walked into a room and you're like, hey, like, I feel something about this person or even about that table over there, right? You feel the energy of it. So, you can use discernment to decide from love, is this a yes or a no for me, right?
Mm.
And so there's no judgment in it. That's why I love the word discernment. It's just, this is a yes for me or a no for me, right? And I think for my own personal journey, it's more about saying yes to myself instead of like saying, oh, no, 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 I'll just do this because this person wants this, right? I think
Mm.
that's very easy to get kind of sucked into somebody else's energy because we do care. So to realize that, when we take care of ourselves, we're able to take care of other people as well.
Yeah, I mean, if the people that are watching this are into, you want to build your own business, you want to build a better career, you want
Mhm.
to get ahead, not at the expense of others, but
Right.
in service of others.
Absolutely.
If you don't create that boundary and have that intuition, develop that
Mhm.
intuition, have some sort of framework, you can really stay stagnant,
So true.
right? I mean, and I think a lot of people are suffering because they find themselves stuck. Like, I want to do more, but I just don't have the time. I don't have the energy.
Right.
Well, maybe we're putting our energy or our time
Right.
in something that
Right.
we can scale back from because
Right.
it's not enabling us to serve our greater purpose
Right.
or single best use. One of my
Right.
mentors asked me, what is your single best use as a human being?
Yeah.
And are you operating in that the majority of your time? Is washing dishes a part of that? Is doing laundry a part of that? I'm like, wow, I'm spending so much of my time not in my
Yeah.
single best use. So I love that. I'm still learning more about intuition, but I've been developing it in the last few years. It's been really
Yeah.
profound.
Yeah. I really love that. So I was talking to my midwife, and she's like 70. She's beautiful, the most wise woman on the planet. And she's like, Abby, I've been thinking about this question. I guess it woke her up at like 2 in the morning. And she's like, what are you here for? Like, what are we here for? And I'm like, if everybody can just ask yourself that question right now, like, what are you here for? You don't have to answer it right now. Just ask the question and see what comes. Because when you get tuned in to what you're here for, and nudge, nudge, your intuition will help you find that, right? But that's your purpose. So when you're in alignment with that, nothing really feels like your job. Nothing really feels like work because you're in flow, you're in synchronicity. Things start to line up. And the reason I mention love is A, you can have the discernment, but B, when you fill yourself up with that love, and it's not from a selfish place at all, it's just from a place of being full, that you have something to give
Mm.
and you're not over giving to the point of your depletion.
Yeah, mentioning coming from a place of love, and I think I'm very blessed and fortunate
Yeah.
to have grown up in an environment that had that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people maybe didn't, or they
Yeah.
had to overcome trauma.
Right.
And I think everybody deals with that in some shape or form. If it's
Hmm.
not one thing or it's
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
And I have trauma in my history, in my family history, and all this. But I think better intuition comes from healing too.
Yeah.
When you heal yourself more, you're able to be more intuitive. And we chatted about this on Friday about the gut health. I think in intuition, people say, what's your gut feeling about that? I have a gut feeling about that. Well, if I'm consuming a lot of sugar, processed foods, nutrient poor food, and my whole gut microbiome is jacked up, then I think I'm kind of losing my intuition because the gut sends 100 signals to the brain for every one signal that the brain sends to the gut. And if the bad bacteria in my gut is constantly sending these craving signals to the brain, give me sugar, give me more processed food, give me more bread, your mind is almost like hijacked and you can't really discern or be more intuitive
Mm.
and be in tune with your own intuition because it's not even your intuition, it's that bad bacteria in your gut is controlling your intuition
Yeah.
to go get you to get it what it wants. But what do you really want? What are you here
Yeah.
for? And I love that. I love that you mentioned that about your midwife.
So cool. And then the next question she said, or maybe I said it, was what's stopping you from doing that now, right? Because you mentioned like being stagnant if you're not having certain boundaries, or it could be a number of different reasons. So it's like, what's stopping you from doing that thing that you're called to do now? And usually it's some level of fear, right? Whether it's like, I don't think I can do it, or somebody says I can't do it, or I'm just usually it's some root in that, right? But if you bring the energy of love to that fear, it can start to neutralize, and then you can feel your gut. I 100% agree that your intuition is based in your gut. I think we talked about this too earlier. There's 500 million cells in your gut alone. So the intelligence is actually higher than your brain. So it's really, really cool. I do a lot of probiotics, like I do these things called Kavita and yogurt because it helps that gut health. But I also know people. I'm thinking of this one person I knew years and years ago, and he was like paraplegic, so he couldn't feel his gut, but he still knew how to connect with his intuition. So even if that's not accessible to you, there's a certain knowing that you can access that's truth within you. Wherever you feel it, however you feel it, that is the presence of your soul. That is your beingness. And so as you start to shift your beingness into what you want to create in your life, you begin to attract it. So the root level of all of that is going to be unconscious beliefs, right? So we're believing things all day long. A great example is at first you learn how to drive a car and then it goes on autopilot, right? You're not really thinking about it. So that's what's happening in the back of our mind unconsciously all day long. These beliefs are running. So typically the way I work is help people see, oh, or me see their blocks. Oh, here's the block. It's actually not running energy through there. Your life force energy is being stopped. Okay, what are you believing about yourself? Again, you may not know off the top of your head consciously because it's a subconscious pattern, but it starts with the question, what's stopping me from already having that now? It helps you start to identify what's going on. And then the third step is what action steps, right? So it's like my uncle's one of my best friends, and he's always like, just take action. Like, action is where it starts, and he's right because, like, we can talk all day long, but until you actually take action towards something, nothing moves.
Yeah, I love all this. And I've learned about, vibration. You talked about vibration earlier. And this is another thing that I learned recently. And it was actually, I went through a little stint of drinking alcohol, not moderately, never really drank much in my life, but I really started indulging on alcohol for like 9 months and I totally stopped. And I haven't drinking alcohol in years, nor consumed sugar, nor processed food. Actually, it's 12 in the afternoon. I haven't eaten anything today. I've just been fasting, having some tea. Um, But, talking about vibration and a low vibration is like shame, guilt, apathy, fear, grief, desire. I want, I want. It's never enough. Where everything is reactive. Like you mentioned, you're on autopilot. Everything is reactive. You're not really conscious, not really
Yeah.
present. And to break through that low vibration, for me, took anger. I got angry at the alcohol industry. I said, I'm done. I'm done feeding their business. I'm going to feed my gut what it needs for me to be healthy. And it really took me on this amazing journey of just healing physically and healing mentally.
Yeah.
And why am I drinking? Why am I smoking? Why am I thinking negatively? And it's so profound because the higher vibration, one of the highest vibrations is love. When a person operates out of love or joy or
Yeah.
peace, what is peace? Peace is I'm good with nothing. I'm at peace with nothing. I could just be plain old me on the beach or on the dirt
Mhm.
or on the grass
Yeah.
with nothing. Oh, but I need the food. No, no, I don't. And so I love that, just living in a higher vibration. For me, I find that the top determining factor of whether or not somebody is going to remain in a low vibration or remain in a higher vibration is their environment, is the people that they're around.
Yeah.
So I met somebody like Abby, who is a high vibration human being. I could immediately feel the positivity. Now, if a person is in a low vibration and they encounter somebody who's in a high vibration, they're either going to have to adjust to that higher vibration, or they're going to drag that person down to their lower vibration, or they're just not going to vibe at all. So for me, it's really, really work on getting around people who are living and being in a high vibration and increase your own vibration so that you can almost like deserve to magnetize to other people
Right.
who are living at that, I call it a higher level, but not to
Yeah.
say that somebody
Hmm.
who's in grief is in a lower level. It's okay to be in grief, but not to remain there.
Yeah.
You can't live your whole life in grief. I
Yeah.
mean, we got to step through that,
Yeah.
right? Because even if we're grieving over somebody, that person wouldn't want me to live in grief,
Yeah.
they would want me to live in joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Totally. I love that. So, how do you connect to your intuition? You mentioned a lot about your gut, but is there a way that you actually are like, okay, I'm connected. I feel my intuition, like plugged in.
I don't think I even thought about that enough. Maybe for me, intuition is connected to my purpose. I know what my
Mm,
purpose is. I know what my definite chief aim is in life.
yeah.
And I am in joy and love and peace and enlightenment when I'm in my purpose. So it's just really not falling into that shame, grief, apathy. Oh, I don't care. If I'm in that place, then I'm not connected to my intuition.
Yeah.
So it's just being conscious. And I think if I would say when I was living more of a sedated life of caffeine, alcohol, whatever the substance may be, it's different for different people. It could be sugar. Then I'm not fully connected. I'm in a low vibration and I can't be in my intuition. So whenever I find myself falling into that lower vibration, I ask myself, wait a minute, am I in my purpose? What's gotta, it feels like it's more an external thing at this
Mhm.
point. It used to be an internal thing because it would be like the bad bacteria controlling my intuition,
Mm.
right? Operating, go get me sugar, go get me caffeine. Where now I'm like, no, I'm not going to let that control me. I want to live in peace with
Mhm.
nothing so I can be in my purpose of helping people. But not everyone is mine to help too. That's a whole other thing. So I don't know, connecting to your intuition is just being conscious, being aware, being present. Um, and avoiding that sedation. Face it,
Yeah.
face it. And I'll tell you, I spoke at a big event in Louisville last year, where there were like 6,000 people in the audience. I've done public speaking for 15 years. I don't get
Mhm.
nervous on stage. I got on stage, my heart is racing, and I'm like, what has happened? Like, it was like a physical thing. It
Yeah.
was really different. And I shared with the audience that I know what it was. It was when I was not living a sedated life for a couple of years at
Hmm.
that point. And when you're fully present, you feel a lot more. And it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel. If you're feeling sad, why am I sad? And it's okay to remain in that for a moment. It's okay to maybe that's what I need at this moment so I can get over it. If I block it, then so yeah, just don't block your blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't delay your blessings.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, there's something starting to come in. I just need to actually be empty, be silent. When you talk about, having nothing to me, there's an emptiness that creates the space. So you said you've been fasting this morning, just drinking tea. That's the space, right? That then spirit can come in and you can listen. So I invite everybody just to take a few moments to close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do so, and just quiet your mind so it just becomes empty and start to bring all your awareness into your heart. So you're going to plug into love within your own self, imagining there's a key opening the door to your heart, walking into and accessing your soul consciousness and the consciousness of light within everything. So, this universe and beyond, nature, here, every person, connecting to that frequency of soul. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, relaxing into your body. And starting to drop your awareness now deeper, even still, into that gut. So, a couple inches below your belly button, you can see a spiral of golden light connecting you to your core. And once it's landed there, you'll feel this certainty of truth. I like to talk about your intuition as your inner compass. It starts to point you in the direction of what's best for you. You can feel that through the discernment of truth and through a magnetic pull towards something or a repulsion away from something. You'll really get a strong energy of moving towards or away. And you can now start to open your mind and fill it with a question, and then again, wait for the response. So you can ask anything you like, anything about maybe your purpose, anything you want to know. And then just patiently await the response. Again, it might be a feeling, it'll definitely be a knowing. You might have an inner hearing, that's clairaudience. You might see something inner within yourself. So, clairvoyance is seeing. And clairsentience is that deep feeling, that kinesthetic knowing that you just know something in your bones. I was talking to a friend the other night. She said it was like a full body yes. So your whole body's like, yep, or no, right? So let's just take a few deep breaths here to just feel that presence of your own intuition guiding you, supporting you, and loving you. Again, breathing in through the nose and out. You may even start to feel the energy in your hands. You can always even rub your hands together to feel your own life force energy, realizing that you're actually creating your life with your energy. So, the energy through your hands, your words, your entire beingness. You notice that you may think about somebody right now that's not in the room, but you can still feel their energy, their frequency, right? So, this is beyond physical. And this is where we start to go into the intuitive success coaching. It's pretty cool because you actually start creating your dream, your vision, right? Because that's a frequency. So your intuition starts to bring you into alignment with that. So you may want to start to think, what is my vision? What is my dream? And letting that come to you and starting to align with it. Again, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting the visions come, the knowings come, any inner voice to be heard, to acknowledge yourself, to hear yourself right here and now. And let's take a moment just to fill up your whole belly with this golden white light. And as you breathe in, just feel that light expand. As you breathe out, send that energy into your aura, your energetic field, and start to just cleanse and purify your energy, opening up to receive your absolute highest and best good. And this sounds kind of funny, but it's really true. So last night, this same beautiful person I was telling you about told me to actually salt all of my doors and put just basically this cleansing energy around them. And I think it was 10 minutes later, an offer for $2,500 came in. So it's amazing when you start shifting your energy, how quickly abundance can follow. So just trust me when I tell you your energy is within you and you can actually use it to create your life. So, again, just starting to open even more of your beautiful heart to what you would like to receive this year, what is for you. And if you want, just silently say yes to yourself so you're choosing that, knowing you are that powerful. Whenever you're ready, I invite you to bring both hands to your heart, gently blinking open your eyes, and it is done. Yay. Very cool.
Awesome.
So you can follow, more of the speakers. We're going to be doing these throughout the month on Intuition Income Summit. And then my main company site is lifeforceconnection.com, where I do certifications internationally. So you can take the classes online. You can also come here at the Wellness Center and do retreats and chakra balancing and coaching. So whatever speaks to you. But I definitely recommend the Intuitive Success Club to really take this deeper and develop your intuition to monetize your gifts. So I always love giving my speakers an opportunity to share about their businesses and really what started you to where you are now, and then how people can connect with you. So,
So I actually have been in the same business. By the way, your space here is absolutely magnificent. The second I even before I even drove and walked into the space, the where it's located, view of the ocean, absolutely serene, so calm, so peaceful. So I thank you for inviting me to the space,
of
and
course.
thank you for the little meditation
Yeah.
session. That was really nice. But I've been in the same business for 23 years. I work with a company called Legal Shield, where we become the legal department of every household or every person or every business. And when somebody becomes a member of the service, we become like the legal department of their life or the legal department of their business. So the question I like to ask people is, do you have the legal side of your life in order? Do you have your will, your living will, your health directive, your durable power of attorney for financial and medical matters done? Is that something that's important to you? If it's something that's important to you, if it's something that you want to take care of, you can call me 310-739-6268. You can go to myoptionnow.com and you can learn more about our plans. But more than anything, I'd love to have a conversation with you about how you handle legal related matters in your business or how you handle legal related matters in your life. Um, Last thing I'll say is our company is the biggest legal services company in the United States and in Canada. We service almost 5 million users. I've personally used the service more than 300 times. And the service is absolutely phenomenal. My life before having Legal Shield was we didn't practice preventative legal care. My dad was like the legal department of our life. He wasn't a lawyer. He signed contracts without reading them. But since I became a member, any legal related matter that comes through my life, I just call my law firm. I hit that Legal Shield app and it's super easy to use. So it's something that I highly recommend, but it's not for everybody because not everybody is responsible. But if you're a responsible human being and you like to make responsible choices, it's smart to have the legal side of your life and your business in order.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just connecting with you is such a gift, right? For people just to have a conversation, get to know you, and who knows where the connection will be. It's always good to make those really heartfelt connections.
Yeah, I find that when you connect with people in person,
Mhm.
it's very different. It's very different. A true human connection cannot be established via text or via email or even via a phone call. So this was something that was revolutionary in my life and in my business, like 9 months before COVID, where I was at a Lenny Kravitz concert with my wife, and it was on our anniversary. It was like our, I think, 19-year anniversary, or 19-year
Congratulations.
first date anniversary.
Sweet.
And we literally bought the tickets that morning, and we ended up at the stadium, and It was their last leg of their US tour, and he literally spent the first 10 minutes of the concert asking people to put their cell phones away. And because we were all the way up in the bleachers, you could see the 10,000 cell phone lights because everybody had their phones out when the concert started. And slowly but surely, you saw the phones turning off. But it took like 10 minutes. He literally
Mm.
was begging and pleading with the audience. And he just said, just be here for our jam session. And it was just such a fabulous concert. I think in part because people put their cell phones away, they were more present. So I thought that was ingenious of him to do. But that's really that day is when that really came to me. This whole concept I'm sharing right now is at the last 30 minutes of the concert, all the cell phones were back out. And I was looking around me and I was seeing people literally in their phone. They were looking at their screen of their phone, and their phone was pointing at the stage, right? But they weren't really looking at the stage, they were looking at their phone. And that's really where it came to me that literally like half the people out there are not even present. They're not even connectable.
Right.
And talking about that intuition, I
Yeah.
just raised my standard that day and I said, you know what? I'm either gonna connect with people and talk with them like this or on a video call like this. But if I'm gonna get their divided attention and I'm giving them my undivided attention, I'm going to dock that conversation
Right.
for a later time when we both can be present.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely revolutionizing to my business when I started converting my audio calls into video
So
calls.
cool.
And same time, just completely different presenteeism.
Yeah. So I love so many things about what you just said. Number one is the little meditation I was doing of connecting us all, is that you're connecting to another human being in light and love and presence. And also, when you're talking about electronics, to me, it takes us away from our natural way of being. For instance, you're like, hey, look how beautiful the space is. Here's the ocean, here's the garden. You're in nature. Now, I say this knowing we're recording this on Zoom, so we're using technology. So I believe there's a place for this. I do. But I also want to introduce something to everybody called earthing, which is like, even if you're just putting your feet, like you can see my feet are literally on the floor, it's very clean, but I'm grounded to the earth because the earth is giving us energy all day long. And so when we surround ourselves with nature elements, we become more intuitive. So, I started seeing the other side, so to speak, energy since I was 8 years old. And I spent so much time in nature. That's where I started seeing. I'd be in the trees and be like, oh my God, there's a fairy. Like you start seeing things because you are connected to love, to life force. There's a reason that I call my company Life Force Connection, right? Like it literally is moving through you. So I just love so much about what you said is connecting to another human being in presence. And then adding on to that, connecting to nature, using technology as a tool, but not an escapism, not a distraction, not as a mind numbing vice, right? But to really use it for communication, really is my sense.
Yeah, there's so much in that. I recently learned that the opposite of addiction is connection. The
Cool.
opposite of addiction is
Hmm.
connection. And you mentioned earthing. That has been so profound learning about that. And not just your bare feet touching any ground, but ground that's grounded. So grass that's connected to the earth,
Yeah.
or sand that's wet, or just even hugging a tree, something that electricity has to be able to run through it.
Yeah.
So, and I find a lot of people haven't earthed or grounded in a long time.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can even get grounding sheets,
Yeah.
or I have a grounding mat where I sit on my home office. There's a mat that conducts electricity and it's connected to the ground plug of the electric plug. And I sit on it and I have my bare feet touch it, and there's an electric current. And there's been studies that have shown that when you earth or when you ground, your blood doesn't coagulate as much,
Mhm.
and the blood can flow more freely, and it doesn't clog as much. And so there's a lot of disease that happens because of lack of grounding. So that connecting with the earth, connecting with people, and even though we're using technology here, we're still present, and you can still see us as human beings. So this is not like a AI or a digital version of or just an audio recording. This is actual people connecting with people. And I think that it's absolutely wonderful that Abby's putting the series together and um, just fully engage with it because it's almost like taking a shower. You take one shower, it's not enough. You're gonna have to take another shower tomorrow. So it's like a practice. So continue to show up and learn from the different people that she's gonna be interviewing here because I think I wouldn't say there's something to learn from everybody. Most people you don't want to learn from them. I told a friend of mine, he said, you can learn something from everybody. I said, no, you're a trash can if you're learning something from everybody. Because some people, they just don't have the right sense. And that's okay. But Abby's connected with some fabulous, really high quality people. So I
You
thank
being
you
one
for
of them,
that.
my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
You too. You too.
absolutely. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It's always just an honor to be in your life, and I just recommend you continue listening to the series. Again, you could go to my site, Life Force Connection, and your site is, I
myoptionnow.com.
like that. Good option. All right, everyone. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye.